All right, welcome everybody. Appreciate you guys being on. Welcome Skirmish, Brandon from Skirmish and 6 Millimeter Mandalorian, Chris. Appreciate you guys being on. We got, you guys got some cool stuff to go over here in a second, but let me give a shout out to the sponsors of this episode, Skirmish. Have you guys ever heard of Skirmish?
No. First time.
See this bracelet? It's awesome. Okay. If you guys don't have one, anyone watching or listening, if you don't have one and your local field doesn't run this system, go talk to the owner and tell him to get this system because it's freaking badass. It's the best stat tracking system for Airsoft, in my opinion. And yeah, so go to play.skirmish.net to find out more. And also, if you want to find out intricate details of how the system works and behind the scenes of the guy that started it, Brandon right here, go listen to episode 157. Also, shout out to Jackal Tacticals, another sponsor of this episode. Go to jacktac.com to find out more. They've got an event coming up here in South Carolina, I think in about 2 weeks. It is at GTI. Go to you can find it on jacktac.com. They run it through Other World Milsim, so you can check that out as well. Awesome. So what we got, what am I in for tonight? We planned this like a month and a half ago.
It's been a while. Yeah.
So long ago.
This was all just a ploy for me to get some screen time with the shoulder cannon.
Yes.
I did all this work for this pretty awesome shoulder cannon months ago.
Years, it seems like.
It was years in the making, but yeah. It was months ago.
Epics in Star Wars time.
So I'm definitely going to be breaking it out in actual gameplay this weekend. But I did some movement tests today, like probably 30 minutes ago. And I should have just posted that on my Instagram, 6 Millimeter Mandalorian. It's just a quick clip of the shoulder cannon, its movement, and then I'm also cranked out a M56 smart gun from Aliens to go alongside it. So I've got the Predatorian helmet on there too. So
I saw that video you posted yesterday. It was freaking awesome, dude.
Yeah. Pull up my Instagrams right now.
I'm gonna pull it up.
It's the world live debut right now. It just went live.
There we go.
I've got all the other accoutrements I need to add on to the full outfit because it was a commission job. So it's going to have a full armor chest. Like each gauntlet is going to have some crazy stuff on it. And then, of course, thigh holsters with quick releases for your sidearms and a whole bunch of modular magazine systems. So like on your thigh armor, you'll be able to like slap in and out whatever you want to run. For your primary, so you could have M4 mags or vector mags, whatever you're running as your primary, you could be able to swap those in and out. So that's another thing I'm working on. But yeah, you could.
This is the one from yesterday that I thought was awesome.
that was the one that I was like, hey, honey, you got to record this real quick because I've got the gimbal. So that's just a fly cam. So it's a Galaxy fly cam is what that's called. And it's used for, videos. So people hook up their, really expensive, really heavy cameras to it. And then they'll be able to, effortlessly film the entire day, with their 20-pound video cameras.
Right.
But that was after 3 hours of me like going into the garage and just starting to hack away at the beautiful MG42. But at least got it to a point where I had got it fixed and mounted and was ready to try it out. And God, it just feels so cool. Just the movements are just like from the movie where you can articulate it and move it around. The next video we'll watch after this, you'll be able to see me kind of doing the iconic
going.
But
I want to hear you make some great sound effects.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
She's got to when it's going.
I love it. All right, is this the new one?
Yeah. I put the shoulder cannon on.
Yes.
Bro.
Very short clip. But man,
Yeah, but look at this shoulder cam, man. That thing is badass. Predator style looking.
yeah, so that
Helmet.
that has all the skirmish brains are in that in terms of all Brandon's handiwork with getting those two devices talking to each other and just relaying where they are at the same time. So it knows, hey, if the head's moving, we should be moving the shoulder. But if both of them are moving at the same time, then bam, it doesn't need to move because you know your head's locked in place, the shoulder's locked in place. It's looking exactly where it needs to look. So that was something that Brandon, we were going back and forth for probably 2-3 weeks at the very least. Like every
there was
it was an hour call, and God bless my wife for just like letting us be nerds for a while we're building this thing. And then going back and forth and like working out little tweaks and removing a little bit of code here because you know I'm over in Minnesota and Brandon ain't that close to me, so this was all through Skype and Instagram phone calls or whatever just to get this stuff lined up. But man, I couldn't have built that without him, and I love how it's working. And you can actually see
Look at that.
the next part of the kit there also has, if you're looking at the Predator helmet
Mm-hmm.
when he's doing that front face, that has the Vuzix viewfinder on it. So the next step is getting my
That thing right here in the front.
tacticam. Yeah. So that
Okay.
that is a viewfinder that will be able to play the image that is on that smart gun. And so you can see exactly where your smart gun is pointing at all times. So it's like hip fire, it doesn't really matter because you are looking down scope at all times. So it's going to take probably a couple weeks for the guy who's getting this to like just wear it and get accustomed to all of the things that he's going to be able to do with it. You know, his eyeball is looking down his gun, but his head is moving the shoulder cannon, and he doesn't need much more than that. It's going to be super fun to play in.
Do you have a close-up image of that Predator Mandalorian mashup helmet?
Yeah. Let me
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Yeah, it really does.
one earlier today. I'll just post them straight to Instagram again.
Yeah, while you're looking that up, that accelerometer we chose was it had the gyro and the magnetometer were rotated on axis different than the magnetometer, so it screwed everything up, and it took forever to figure out until I read the 300-page manual to figure that out.
Jeez.
But now it looks buttery smooth.
Yeah, it is slick. It is really fun.
So Brandon, what are you talking about? This like what it's mounted on, the actual servo thing that that drives it or something?
Yeah, so Mando took care of all the heavy lifting with respect to all the mechanical parts there, but he was kind of talking about it a little bit earlier. But if you there's two accelerometers or gyro or IMUs really was one in the helmet and one in the gun, and so when he first put it together, it tracks the head just fine, but as soon as you move your body, then it also moves because it thinks you just rotated 90 degrees, even though your head is still pointing in front of you. So you have to have one on the gun and one in your head so that you want to point in the difference of those directions. So if you move your body, the gun won't turn on your shoulder,
Yeah,
But
so
anyway,
you're not so if you're like you turn your shoulders to the right and look to your left, it won't hit you in the face.
Yeah, because Mandalorian, he's great at taking all these things that exist and kind of kludging them together. And these little servo motors exist off the shelf, and they come with a little remote looking thing that'll you can spin the gun all different directions and it'll follow whatever you're holding in your hand. The problem is if you turn your whole body, then the whole thing moves as well. So Yeah, so we had to do some do a little magic and basically rip all that out and put our own electronics in there. But
That
it's
is cool, man.
wirelessly linked. It's wirelessly linked, so you can take the helmet off and set it down or do whatever with it. And
Oh, that's a good point. I didn't even think to ask that. Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah,
Yeah, it's really nice, but you absolutely 100% need to remember to turn off the helmet transmitter before you take off the helmet, because that thing is the shoulder cannon is going to go exactly wherever you're pointing the helmet. So if you take off your helmet and you go like this, the cannon is just going to go freaking wherever it wants if it's trying to match what
point at your own
the
head.
helmet is doing. The really fun thing about it, though, the thing that I like about the way that Brandon had set up all the code in it, is if it loses communication, which it really isn't unless it's like, 100 feet away from the other unit. But if it loses communication, like one loses battery power, so if like the helmet one loses juice, it will default back to just status straightforward. So no matter what direction it's going, like it will just go back to square one. So you can still
Perpendicular to your
use it.
shoulders.
Yeah, it can still be utilized if the helmet transmitter goes out on it. Just by like turning your whole body and whatever. But the other point is, it's not going to like try to find, where the other guy is and whack your head or whatever. The other thing that Brandon built in it too was it has a limit in it. So we told it, hey, it can only move 60 degrees this way.
Gotcha.
And so if I turn my head all the way over, it's not going to, blast me in the side of the head. It'll only go to that 60-degree mark.
Yeah.
Which where you kind of see it in that still frame right there is kind of as far as it's going to turn over to the one direction, which especially when you're using the smart gun with this setup, you're kind of just always angled with the one side forward anyway. So you're never really going to be turning too far the other direction. So
right.
Yeah, lots of engineering into that thing. And it's not just yaw, it's not just moving left and right, it's also moving in pitch. So if you want to look up and shoot things above you, it'll do that as well. Yeah. So is this the close-up of the helmet?
Yeah, I posted on the so give that a refresh. It should be at the very top again.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, look at the detail on
is
this.
Pretty, bro.
So pretty.
Was this when you and I did the podcast last time a few months ago, Mando?
Yeah.
Was this what was pretty in the background? Because remember I said, "Oh, you got something pretty back there." You're like, "Yeah, I can't talk about it yet."
Yeah, that's exactly what it was going on in the
That's
background
awesome.
there. Yeah.
So what are the dreads? Are those like old
That looks like
radiator cooling
sheathing.
hoses or something?
Yeah, those are like the cable coverings you
Right.
can get. So they're very lightweight. And that was really the goal. And even when I was doing that test run with it on right there, they're kind of getting in the way when you're moving your head around. But they're not enough to like stop you from moving your head at all. It's just, you've got a big helmet and then even bigger dreads on top of it. But they're super lightweight. And you can kind of see on the right part there, it's part of that cabling is opening on it. But that was the biggest goal with those dreads because it's kind of that Predator / Mandalorian mashup.
Yeah.
Helmet was to kind of pull from both elements of the genres. So the dreads on the Predators were it's kind of one of their staple looks, or the Yakuza, if you will.
Yeah, and it's cool because these things kind of fray. You have them frayed at the end, so it looks more like dreads like that.
Yeah, whoever commissioned this is going to have a blast. Is he gonna use it at the 878 Galactic Civil War?
I don't think he's going to be able to make it down to that one, but whatever event he does finally make it out to, he's going to have fun with all of his toys because he's definitely pushing the boundaries of can we do this with me? Everything that he's talking about, everything he's asking about. Which is good. That's what I like to do. I don't like to just keep making things that I was like, oh yeah, can you make this blaster conversion? Yeah, I can do that. but when you start dealing with like, okay, this guy wants a thermal gauntlet, so like it's got a screen and a thermal imager, and it is a
Is that
phone.
what that is? The camera on the right side of the helmet? Is that a thermal imager?
That one is just that's the viewfinder, right? So it isn't thermal, but that's the one that can pull. It basically runs Android 11 on it, so you can kind of get just about any app that exists on the web pages or the web store onto it. But we're using the tacticam, so it's going to be attached onto whatever primary he wants, and then that will just give him the scope cam view of whatever his primary is.
Is
But
that like a little, is that like a little tiny screen inside the end there, or does it actually sort of project out on your lens?
there's a screen on the inside of it.
All right.
It's very cool. You also have the ability to, I mean, if he wants to be out on the field watching Netflix, he can too. Or if he wants to pair it into the DJI app and get a drone and pilot his drone from his viewfinder and his helmet, he can do that too.
Pull up the website, check the status of the game.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah,
That's cool.
Skirmish saved right there, so it can Wi-Fi into whatever. So if you have a hotspot going, you can link into that and get on the internet and do whatever you want on there. It has voice commands and stuff to it. It has a little thumb pad on the side of it, and it was designed with factory work in mind, so everything is impact rated on it.
What?
So yeah, they're
Dude.
not cheap at all. I think
Yeah.
they're like $1,300 for one of those viewfinders.
So is it going to be able to take a BB shot without breaking or?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, everything on it is impact rated.
That's
And
crazy.
it does have like a 1 year, no questions asked warranty on it too. So as soon as he gets it out,
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
So did you paint that to match the helmet, or
The viewfinder?
yeah, it looks like they're the same color.
Nah, that's just the lighting in the shot.
Just
I
happen to
didn't
be the
paint that
lighting.
one at all, just in case he ever wants to like flip it or whatever, or sell it to some company. They'll have
Man,
no
I was
idea
thinking,
what it had been used
I was
for
just thinking that
primarily.
all the attention to detail that Mando goes through to make this thing look awesome.
Yeah, I think
Mhm.
the next
Matching the
step
paint.
for it though is probably just to print a 3D covering for it. I like how low profile it is. It takes a very, very, very small window of your view. So whether it's riding low or high on your helmet, that's the coolest thing about it. In Predator, or not in Predator, in Aliens, they have the viewfinder too for their little smart guns. So that's kind of why we wanted to pair those two together. But the one they use is a lot more bulky and it takes up a lot more of the view. So if anything, I'll make the arm a little bit more beefy and then maybe like beef up the top or bottom of it and then just have it be able to sit outside their field of view anyway, so it's not blocking anything.
Yeah.
But it just looks the part.
What about contract wars? Is this guy going to make it out to contract wars with this? Are you guys going to allow this kind of artillery on the field?
Shenanigans.
Yeah.
No, he's not going to be making out the contract wars. Hey, he's one that's far away too. So it's one of those deals where once I get everything done, it's probably going to be better for him to like meet up somewhere in a Walmart parking lot halfway between each other, and so I can like give him the full briefing on how everything works. Just because there is so many intricate details with some of these things. So even like with the shoulder cannon, they talk to each other, but there can be some cattywampus to it where they're like, yeah, this is perfect right here, and you're like, no, this is perfect. So you have to like go into the actual the transmitters, and I have them both mounted in ways that they can either pivot left or right or up and down. So you can pivot in the helmet. I can change the pitch just by changing the direction of that device that's in the helmet. So then it will line up better. And it's one of those things where it's not going to be 100% perfect because of all the other things that are going on around it. Like it's mounted probably 6 inches away from an AEG motor. So whenever that thing's running, it's kind of thrown off its own magnetic field. So it's not going to be able to be 100% perfect all the time, but you have those manual tweaks that you can do to it to get things back calibrated and working again. And you might have a little drift left to right over time, but you can always tweak it and fix it.
Very cool. So you guys are Contract Wars is this weekend, right?
Yeah, Contract Wars is this weekend, so that's one that Action Sports Wisconsin is putting on. So we're gonna I volunteered to bring out Skirmish to the event, and it's exactly one of those events that just pairs perfectly with Skirmish because it's just your straight up capture point, lane grab, all day running event that just works so well with Skirmish. So we set up, the 14 different capture points across the field and then turn on Skirmish and get everybody their chips. And then they go out there and they can capture things and see stuff in real time. It's my favorite way of using Skirmish because it's so straightforward. So when you're dealing with players who have never touched it before, there's not much that they can screw up with it and not much that can get in their way of having a good time.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've noticed a lot of traffic on the website, so you guys are getting the word out. People are finding their way to the website, signing up. So you guys, it looks like you're gonna have a good turnout tomorrow. Pretty excited to watch. Or not tomorrow, Saturday.
Yeah, on Saturday. Saturday, yeah.
Or a week ago, depending on when E-Rock decides to release this podcast.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
true.
Right?
I'm just gonna go ahead and say it went. It was amazing, right?
It was so
amazing,
good.
yeah.
Everyone had
You
such
guys had
a
1,000
good time.
people.
Actually, yeah, I don't know. This will come out Monday. This
Just in
podcast
time
will
for
come
a
out Monday.
recap. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
for a
man.
recap. I know,
That's
right?
so much time. You got so much time to edit. I didn't even know. I didn't even know it wasn't live. I didn't know I couldn't be swearing.
You
Well,
couldn't be swearing?
I
E-Rock
guess
doesn't edit these, so you could. There's definitely swearing on this podcast.
Oh yeah, there's no rules.
No
There's
fun.
absolutely no rules at all. And it's like that not to be a rebel or buck the system or nothing. It's just I want people to be comfortable having a casual conversation. Just like if we were talking at a cookout,
no.
So yeah. I just didn't want people a lot of people started kind of questioning or balking at what they were about to say. And this happened, over the past couple of years as people would come on, and if I didn't like brief them or tell them anything, or if they didn't ask, they would, especially people that had their own YouTube channels, and they would try to say a word, and then they would stop, and it was just kind of interrupted the flow of the conversation. I'm like, look, you just go ahead and say it. Yeah, it's fine, dude. You want to say shit? Oh, go ahead. Like, you don't have to correct yourself. So it's no big deal. I don't bleep them. I don't bleep stuff, man. Honestly, I
man,
don't have time.
Too much work. Yeah, it's too much work.
There's only a few things that Mandalorians don't do. They don't take off their helmet. Their language is clean.
Oh no, their language is definitely not clean.
I don't know. I don't remember if in the Mandalorian series I've heard a single curse word.
I mean, there's
It is Disney.
Your Dank Farrik, which is the galactic goddammit.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I just don't know enough. I just need to brush up on
You just
that.
don't know.
Brandon, me and you are ignorant to this whole Star Wars language world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know the basics. I'm very basic when it comes to Star Wars. I love Star Wars.
To start somewhere,
I just right. I just don't know the intricate details.
Yeah. So
where'd you say this event is this weekend that you guys are?
Action Sports Wisconsin. So
Okay,
they're one of the fields that we go out to with Galactic Civil War.
Okay.
Pretty frequently.
Yeah.
So they'll probably be one of our fall events next year. So we did that was the latest and greatest of the Star Wars events that you had playing down there before. But
Right. Yeah, I just clicked on it because it looked like
they're
it looked like
like
that field,
80.
so I knew it was
Yeah,
going to be a
yeah,
link
that's
to whatever.
yeah. Ambition's Toll. Well,
And
that's
Hefe's all
fun.
over your comments. He's, if not the first, very, very near it. If you every one of these you clicked on, it was Hefe giving you props.
He
Yeah, he's
started, shout out to Hefe Airsoft. He started posting his own videos where he's actually on camera.
Yeah, yeah.
I am proud of him. That's a big
His
step.
production quality is really good.
Hmm.
yeah.
He's done a great job. He's really I mean, I even get that you know how it'll recommend a template like, hey, use this trending template for your next post or whatever. And it's Hefe's.
Yeah, that I posted that. That said Ambition's Toll. That was definitely Fate's Crafts, so that was a bad typo on my end. But yeah, that was the one that we did this last spring, and like 170 with admin out there. So our numbers keep going up from event to event. You know, that goal is kind of that 200, 250
Hmm.
at these 80-acre areas. But you know, the dream long term is keep growing this so far that you're bringing in so many different vendors that it's almost turning into a galactic medieval times kind of deal, you know, where it's a all weekend event and vendors are out there selling their goods and you're just praising the community that is Star Wars. But then at the same time, you're in an area that can be dangerous as well. So taking that LARP to the next level, you know, it's hard to convince people to do that because it's so far out of a lot of people's comfort zones. You
Mm.
know, airsoft or paintballing or anything. You have that group that's like, oh yeah, I love the cosplay aspect of things, and then you have other people who are like, oh yeah, I love airsofting and stuff. And there's a very small part where our players fit, where they're like, yes, we love costuming, and yes, we love shooting people with airsoft guns.
Hmm.
So we're trying to pull in people from both sides, and you're getting this match of like people who have never touched an airsoft gun and people who have 100 airsoft guns but have never done cosplay. But the ones who haven't touched airsoft guns know how to make a stormtrooper costume from scratch. You know,
Right.
so you're bringing these two people together and bringing them out on the field, and they're just having a great time together. And
I
that's
think
that's
there's a,
always been the spirit of the events. Is everyone's just there to have fun. Everyone's there to just forget where they were, or where they
yeah.
are for just a weekend. And we
Yeah. I
do
mean, that's the
very
whole
well.
point of having a hobby is to get away from, forget about work, forget about life, like adulting,
Yes.
and go have fun. And, you know, it's really beneficial and therapeutic to do that. So yeah, it's awesome. I think there's a lot of people that start out and like get into airsoft that are fairly new, and they go, man, this is awesome, shooting each other. And, you know, and then they go to an event where they see people that are dressed up like you, right, with a full-on badass looking outfit, and they go, oh, you could do that. And then they go,
Oh,
I have a 3D printer, I can make some armor. And I think they it draws them into the cosplay or LARPing kind of thing after they get into airsoft. So they like both, you know.
yeah, 100%. And that's the thing is, you know, we're starting to touch more on the con side of stuff. So like going out to different cons and like talking to people about Galactic Civil War, and you know, instead of trying to advertise just mainly on airsofting communities, is all right, let's reach out to the local 501st chapter and get talking to those guys about, you know, the events here, it's happening. It's not so much about having an official 501st appearance. So 501st is the people who are like really, really, really into the costuming and like
Mm.
the screen accurate
Yeah,
outfits.
the
So they have to like,
authentic, every
yeah,
detail Has
they
to
have
be
to like,
correct. Yeah.
submit their costumes to different like approvers, and then they can get approved to wear that costume at a trooping event.
Yeah.
And they do a lot of cool stuff. I mean, they go to, hospital appearances and visit kids and do different things around, or parades, things like that, where they just get out in the community and they're just, making people
So,
happy.
so where
Uh,
does the 50 where does the 501 come from?
501st is Darth Vader's battalion. So it was
Okay.
that's his personal stormtrooper regiment is the 501st. Yeah.
Yeah. The last time, Brandon, the last time that I had Mando on, he was telling me, he was enlightening me about this whole thing.
Okay.
I
Oh,
had
you already
no
know.
clue. I had
Okay.
no clue what he's talking about. So, because I think when we talked about it last time, Mando, when you first said like the 501st, I thought you were kind of referencing like a charity event, because charities are listed under 501c or some shit like that. So I really thought you were trying to make it sound cool, like the 501st. I was like, oh, I'm thinking, is it a charity event? I don't know, shit.
I don't
And then
know.
I asked him, and he was like, no, it's the stormtroopers, man. And they have like, so they have to have their uniforms and outfits like perfect to the actual Star Wars. Weren't you telling me that there were that group, those guys that are serious into it, they'll get pulled in, or they have gotten pulled in for like backups and stuff for shows and movies and stuff?
So
Is that
one of the latest ones was like in Mandalorian. So one of the seasons there, and even they did it with stormtroopers in that one. So like the first season of Mandalorian, where they're like, "Oh God, we would love to have like 20 more stormtroopers on set," and there's like, "Well, we don't like have the costumes to do that, because a lot of it's just like we'll shoot one angle and then we'll shoot another angle and then we'll shoot
yeah.
another one." But they're like, we just want like all the bodies there just to do it quickly, because even though those Disney shows have massive budgets, um, every dollar adds up pretty quickly when you're
Well, not only
doing
that, isn't it like
reshoots
or not the AI, but adding all that in digitally is like time consuming
yeah.
if they want to make it look authentic.
So they reached out to like the local 501st. So there were people who came out in their stormtrooper outfits and their stormtrooper costumes and were just there shooting one of those scenes. And then in one of the other recent seasons of Mandalorian, there was a bunch of Mandos like on the beach shooting and getting ready to like they're doing their training stuff. They're the guys who never take off their helmet. They're that sect of Mandalorians. Some might call them cultists or extremists. But a bunch of the Mandalorians there, they pulled those from the Mando mercs. So that's another kind of chapter of Mandalorian. So there's like the 501st who deal with Imperial stuff. So all the stormtroopers, Darth Vader, all of those kind of costumes. Then there's Rebel Legion, which deals with all like the Rebel troopers. And then there's the Mandalorian mercs who deals with all the Mandalorian costuming. So they're like three different entities of costuming clubs. So, but yeah, they just had the people on, I guess, speed dial, or they saw them at a con and they're like, "Hey, we could use some help if you got some guys and legit stuff. They want to come out to the set. They sign all
NDA stuff, yeah.
You'll be losing?
He locked up, yeah.
Oh man, it's just us.
He got zapped by the stormtroopers or the Jedis
no,
or something. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't give away the 501st secrets
That's
and
what it
then
is.
expect to
First
survive.
rule of 501st, you don't talk about 501st. You got banned, bro. Okay.
Yeah.
Your feed got cut. Hopefully they're not raiding his house right now.
Well, if they were,
outfits.
I think if these were, I think he'd probably be okay though.
I know.
They're not ready for the Predator.
They're not ready for that big ass gun on that gimbal.
Oh, no. Even if you don't shoot them, you could just hit them with it.
No shit, right? Those gimbals are really popular right now with a lot of work things too, like construction stuff. There's a Hilti makes a concrete, it's like a jackhammer basically.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
it's huge.
Hmm.
And it comes with that gimbal because you can't really use it without it.
Yeah.
And it takes all your weight, and it's, you know, harness over the shoulders, real thick padding, you know, like shoulder straps and stuff, and it goes around your waist, and it's, man,
I think
it's
it's
pretty
good to
cool to
I
see.
think it's good to see that kind of stuff because that's like it's
Mech
basically the
Warrior
answer to
is
everybody being
next.
worried about robots taking your job, you know. So
Yeah,
instead they're kind of augmenting people uh to be more productive, and it's good for your health too. You're not like carrying some heavy
right.
ass concrete around or whatever.
Yeah, jumping
But
or stepping, walking around with yeah, hurting your back and stuff, lifting all that crap.
yeah. Well, shoot, Mando. I was really
He'll
mostly here for
join.
him. I'm always back.
So I wonder if he can use, do I need to send him another link, do you think?
He should use the same one.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, I suppose it doesn't hurt to send him a link, but he should be able to use the same one.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Well, it
he's
could
been
be
gearing up.
his, oh, go ahead.
No, so he's been gearing up for this contract wars this weekend, which should be pretty cool. Too late to advertise, but yeah, then the next one he's going to do is going to be at 878 Airsoft
Ooh,
in
in Texas.
I should know exactly where that is. It's somewhere near Dallas. I don't
It's the,
know.
yeah, DFW area.
Yeah, I can't remember if it's northwest,
Let me look it up. I follow
east.
them on, and they have it listed on
Hmm.
their thing.
They might have an event coming up soon as well. I think they might have one coming up next weekend. What is next weekend? Is it the
Okay, October 26th is Mafia Wars. October 5th. Oh, they're promoting that one too. Okay. Oh, so this is
November
yeah,
9th?
that's the one he's talking about. Yeah.
There are a lot of events that weekend. That's a popular event weekend. So I
Wait a
think
minute.
that's the same.
I thought he always did Galactic Civil War at the field that
No,
the
no, he
action
doesn't.
sports.
No, he moves around. So Action
Oh,
Sports Wisconsin is he lives near there, so that's kind
right,
of their
right.
main. But then they travel, and so they did one
Okay.
at the Rock, which is in Missouri,
Okay. The Missouri, that's
um,
right.
Boulevard, Missouri.
Yep.
Which that venue itself is pretty awesome.
Is it?
Yeah, so it's just um, it's almost like you've transported to a different planet. So it's an old mining quarry, old rock quarry,
Mm.
and there's just huge gradients, steep hillsides where they mined off rock or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it's at some point they hit a spring and it filled with water at one end, but it's just this complete. It doesn't look like any of the surrounding landscape. It's all this like white limestone.
Oh,
Um,
that's
so
cool.
it just kind of looks like you're in a different planet. So it's kind of cool to do that event there.
Right.
But they've actually grown quite a bit since he was there. And I actually went to that one just to kind of make sure things were going well. And that was their first use of the system. But
Right.
they've put a lot of work into that field since, and they've got a bunch of connexes and really built it up. But anyway, yeah, so we did Boulevard. I don't know if this one will be the second one out, that is away from Wisconsin. If
Yeah.
not, one of the few that have been away from Wisconsin. But he's working. He's actually talking to Paul a little bit. I need to talk to him about how that's going
Yeah.
because they want to get one to go together on the East Coast.
Right. I'm gonna look and see where this is at. I'm curious. We'll look up on maps. Oh, there we go. He's back in.
Mando, we were just wrapping up.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
You
You can just hey, tell everybody where they can find all your airsoft stuff.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
just kidding.
You can go do something. Uh, we got
We thought, hey,
some
look, we were joking.
thunderstorm
We
right
thought the
now.
stormtroopers stormed your house, man, the 501st, okay? Because you were talking. The first rule is not talk about
501st.
501st.
Don't talk about
And
501st.
you effed up, bro.
I
You
effed
gave
up.
away too many secrets.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know when I disconnected, but I feel like I was monologuing for about 15 minutes, and then I look
Nah.
up and you got your guys' faces are just still. I was like, oh,
I
maybe
don't
I
know.
went
Yeah,
too long.
it's been a good 2 or 3
Maybe I
minutes.
should have
So
stopped.
Right.
No, we got a thunderstorm, so I think it just took out
Okay.
all the Ethernet around. So I just am hotspotting in for my phone.
Oh,
So
okay. I was just looking up
actually,
where
I'm gonna go
878
get a
is.
drink and probably take off this bucket real quick.
Yeah, go ahead, man. So did you see where that was at? Just south of Dallas.
yeah,
It's in Waxahachie. What's it called? Waxahachie?
Waxahachie. Mm.
That's a wild name.
Yeah, their field is it's cool. I've not been there personally, but I've seen, I've had a chance to scope it out. They've got it broken up into 5 different play areas, and then they bring it all together for the big events. But yeah, he's got just a lot of cool stuff on the field to for people to just kind of have fun.
Yeah, that's cool.
I think Mando's gonna like this location. It's got
Okay.
creeks and river-ish like things running through the middle.
Yeah.
So there's like kind of watery areas, swampy areas, there's some hills.
Yeah, I was trying to find a picture of like a overview. I mean a drone pic of
Hmm.
the whole area.
I've got the
And
maps that we used for skirmish, but they're all it's hard to get too much out of them. They're
right.
so the map it's just so big that it's so high up that you really can't see many of the
Okay.
buildings from.
I wonder how many acres it is. I wonder if it says on here.
It's a lot. It's at least it's got to be around 100, if not more.
170. Yep.
Yeah.
It says right, largest airsoft field in Texas with over 170 playable acres. Only airsoft location in Texas with indoor and outdoor. No shit. I didn't know they had an indoor thing. Okay.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, they don't have like a website or anything you go to, but to see more, all they have is the Discord. I'm sure they have a lot of stuff posted in their Discord, but
I think they do
I'm
have a
leery
website.
about joining a bunch of Discords. I joined all the Discords like every time somebody would be on. They had their team had one. I had like I think I was on like 30, and just going in and turn off the notifications, and it was just very confusing. I had to get rid of a shit ton of them. But yeah, websites are great.
They've got a website. It's
Oh,
878airsoft.com.
I wonder why it's not listed on
But
their socials.
need somebody else to run their social, man.
Whoever
Gotta
is
get on it.
running 878 Instagram, you're doing an awesome job. You got some great pictures in here and information on upcoming events. Just go in and add more links. So in the past year, I don't know when they did it, but Instagram used to only allow one link on your bio, and now you can add multiples. So you could go in and add more if you want to add your website to it. That would be awesome.
More links on your links.
I know, right? I've been debating on doing those link tree things. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to do one because I don't need to now since they have the availability to do add more links to it. So, and YouTube as well. YouTube, you can add a bunch of links to your profile. Excuse me. So anyway, yeah, this so have you ever been here before, Mando?
878? No.
878?
So we have 3 of our admin staff are in Texas.
I think your mic is muted.
What?
I can hear him.
Or did I lose? What the hell?
I can hear both of you.
What happened?
Did you mute
Talk
me?
again, Chris.
Did I do something
hear you.
wrong?
No, you okay? Now it's good. I don't know. It was weird.
So like 3 of my admins are all down in Texas. So they're all
Okay.
Texas based. So we've had 5 events or whatever it is now, and we haven't done anything in Texas. So I'm like, hey guys, now's the time. We're gonna crack into it. You got to get us 200 players. You get his 200 players will come back to Texas all the time.
Yeah.
So they're hustling right now, just trying to get as many people out to the event as they can.
Okay.
They must have been the ones that were at the Palooza then. Did they have a booth there? I mean, you had a booth there, but were those the same guys?
They had like a bunch of guys in their scout trooper outfits, and they're just talking up the Galactic Civil War.
Yep.
So
Yeah, it was I don't remember any of their names, but it was the guy that dresses up as the Wookiee.
yes, Chris.
Yeah.
Chris.
Yeah, but they were doing a good job at the Palooza. They had a lot of traffic, a lot of people that were super interested. So
Okay. This is Big Hero. I guess she's part of the podcast.
Beautiful cat. Like the colors.
Yes.
Really pretty.
Real pretty.
It's different.
She's a little jerk.
Most cats are, because they're smart.
Yes, too smart.
Yeah, they're smart as hell, and they're like, fuck you, human. I'm gonna scratch you and smack you with my paw. Have you seen those videos where cats, like, their owner, it's the person, it's their cat, and they're holding them and loving on them, and the cat just gets that look on their face and just whacks him in the face.
Yeah,
it's hilarious.
They're pretty cool. I'm allergic to cats, so this is great.
Well, you're not that allergic, or do you take something for it?
No,
you're not really stuffy right now.
I'm just miserable all the time.
Okay.
No.
It's an excuse to go out to the garage more often.
There you go.
Gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had 2 cats. So we had a baby 8 months ago. So
congratulations.
Awesome. Thank you. And
boy or girl?
We had a girl. Her name is Maisie. And she is just the best. She's the best little girl ever. But that's before she can start doing anything. So get back to that as soon as she can start actually crawling around and stuff like that.
Right.
But we had 2 cats and we had a dog. And we brought Maisie home from the hospital. And the older cat, who's never liked anything new coming into her house, it was just like, like this. And she does what she always does, and she crawls underneath the bed and just tries to wait it out. It's like, I'm just gonna be under here for a couple of days.
Yeah.
And then the dog absolutely loved her. She was immediately protective of her and just wanted to be next to her all the time. And this one right here, Bakira, she didn't even know the baby existed for like 6 months. And then, but that other cat,
she knew
the bed, right? She crawled under the bed the first day and she died. She was dead. She went and crawled under the bed and died, is what she chose. So we had the dog that loved her, the one cat that couldn't care less, and the other cat that chose death the day that we brought the baby home. So we missed the one cat a lot, but
I'm not trying to be callous or nothing, but did the cat actually die?
Yeah, it was dead.
No shit.
I
thought you were trying to like.
They do. We're like, oh man, we're gonna have to. Let's get her out. Let's show her some attention. Like,
yeah.
She was very dead.
And so when you went to pull her out, you were like, "Oh shit, she's stiff, like rigor mortis."
She's coming out in the same
position, right? Oh man,
was she old or was it?
She was 14, so she was we think she was 3 when we first got her. We got her, or my wife had gotten her before we even gotten together. Had gotten her from like the Humane Society, so
right, like a rescue.
Clocked her at maybe 3 years old, so I don't think they were for sure knew she was 3 or not. So she might have been older, but she had some medical issues when she was younger or whatever, and then she just chose death though when we brought the baby.
Wild.
She's like, I ain't taking this shit. I'm out of here.
I mean,
rough life.
Well,
Yeah, so now we have 1 cat, and
she moved on so that the baby could, take it.
So maybe it was a baby that landed her in the in the
Mhm.
Humane Society in the first place. So
Yeah.
she knew.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
You can't do
Like
it.
the last time one of these came home, I got sent to the
Yeah,
the
yeah,
big
yeah.
house.
Right.
Yeah.
Show them.
Could be, man.
She had a great life, so
That's cool.
we miss her, but
It's a really common thing. Like, there's been a couple of people I've talked with that, they have a lot of cats. And, matter of fact, I want to say Keegan from, or Keenan from CSL. He runs the CSL tournaments. I think they have cats. And then, dang, who did I talk to about a month ago? His cat was roaming around while I was talking to him, and he was like, yeah, we do rescues. My wife and I do rescues, and he's allergic to the cats as well, but they have a house full of cats. And I was like, well, you don't sound like, too much, because my son, our oldest son, he's got kind of like allergies, like outside stuff, cut grass and stuff like that. They're pretty bad. Like, if when he cuts his grass, he has to take a couple of the whatever those are, Zyrtec or
Claritins and Zyrtecs.
yeah, Claritin, yeah. If he doesn't, and he didn't for years, he just dealt with it, right? Because he didn't want to take. Really, he was just lazy. I don't want to take this stuff. So he would just be, his eyes just like, his nose, and he could barely talk for like 3 hours after the grass. So, yeah. But you're saying like you're allergic to cats. So if you pet her more or whatever, do you get kind
Yeah,
of
the worst is like if I'm petting
symptoms?
her and then I like touch my face or like rub it
Right,
on
right.
my face.
Rub your eyes. Yeah.
Then I'm gone. I'll be sneezing for hours.
Yeah.
As long as we keep our distance from each other, we're good. We're cool. She's
I
more of
grew
a
up with cat.
playmate than anything else, but
I grew up with cats and was never allergic. And then I left home, didn't see my cat for like 2 or 3 years, and I went back and I was just like deathly allergic. I don't know what happened. But now we've got cats again, and they're hypoallergenic cats, so I actually don't really have any issues at all.
ooh, don't tell my wife that those exist.
How in the hell? What are you talking about? How is that possible?
I mean, they're just on the spectrum of uh
They're
causing
short
you to be
hair.
allergic. They're not even really that short. Well, they're not long hair, that's for sure. They're shorter hair, but yeah, they're just
Low dander.
low dander. It's like whatever, I don't know,
Is it a
whatever
certain
the protein or whatever that they've got.
type?
They've got a low amount.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so they're I don't have any issues. We did go to, meet them before we took them home at this, like we got them from a breeder, and their house was just full of cats, and I was dying within like 2 minutes of being in there, and I was like, I don't care how hypoallergenic these things are, I'm not gonna make it. This is terrible. um but it was, yeah, their house was completely overloaded with cats. That was why. But yeah, they're pretty good. I don't have any issues. My father-in-law's got way worse allergies than I do, and he didn't have any issues. So
Huh.
yeah, they exist.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. Now I've seen
Mando,
those cats that are like
have your wife get some new
hairless.
cats.
What's that? What's that? What?
Have your wife get some new cats, and not you can get a hairless one too, but those are, I don't know.
You've seen
It
those?
takes a special person to love those cats.
I'm telling you, bro. Those things look like aliens for real.
No,
What is the
Something
point of
from the
having a
Egyptian
cat?
world, maybe.
I keep telling my wife and you do a little Google on the side here and pull up the image as we're talking about it. Type in
Yeah.
werewolf cat. Werewolf.
Oh Lord, what am I getting into?
Yeah.
Oh Lord Jesus, help me.
Yes, pull that up. So that's the one. One of my wife says, "Can we get another cat?" I always say,
Okay.
"Yes, we can," but it has to be a werewolf cat.
Okay.
And those things are creepy.
Ooh. Are these it?
Yeah, those guys.
Where
That's
does that
pretty
live?
Where does it live?
Yeah, let's
In
look
your
it up.
house, most likely.
Under my bed in my closet.
They only
Exactly.
come out on full moons.
It's called a lycoi.
Yeah, like a
Lycoi.
lycanthropy, right? Lycoi.
Lycoi. Okay. Commonly called the wolf cat or werewolf cat, is a breed of cat derived from a natural mutation caused or causing a form of,
Partially hairless coat.
what
yeah.
is that? Trachea?
I don't know. That
Hypotrichia?
sounds good to me.
Found in
No
domestic
one here is gonna
short-haired
correct you.
cats. Yeah. The cats are medium-sized, partially hairless coat and unique roan pattern. Interesting. What is this roan thing? Yeah, I don't know. So interesting. Okay. It doesn't say where they're
It doesn't say whether they want to kill you or not. Where's
well,
the-
all cats want to kill us.
That's
I'm sure
true.
you've seen those the stories about that from like the legends and the old wives' tales and stuff from Egyptian times, and also there are real stories to back that up. You know, the babies, newborn babies, right? They get smothered by cats sometimes, right?
Really?
Like, yes, they'll
Yeah,
lay on their face
I haven't heard that.
when they're in the crib,
Mother.
Mm.
and or they sit on their chest and they suck the air out of their while they're breathing. They suck the air out of their lips. Maybe now that one might have been a that might have been a horror movie. Okay, but the other one is for real. There has been incidents where cats have smothered babies, probably on accident, you know. But
So can you get this cat in America? Where like
Yeah,
honestly,
you can
where?
you can get him straight. He's like, I need one of these guys.
I know, right?
Yeah, it does. He looks.
Well, look
pretty
at
cool.
it. It looks mangy, bro. I don't know, dude. You don't want
Well, I don't
that
want the
thing.
one on the right. I want
Look
the
at
one.
this.
The thing
No,
is
That
we
looks
can't have
weird.
that one.
What is
Yeah.
this thing?
part of
That's
their
not a-
coat
That looks
comes
nasty.
through, so that's why they look mangy. Is because
Right.
they're missing part of the coat that most cats have. So
It's part skin, hairless.
Well, see, this is how they draw you in. They show you those first few photos, and I'm thinking, man, this thing is sick. And now it's like, no.
I mean, look, some people love them. Where's this picture that just came up?
No.
Okay, look, she loves them.
She's pretending. They're called pets for like. Would you pet that thing?
look at
Probably
that! Look at
not.
that video. Though that's such a cool looking one right there. Look at
That
him.
All right,
is
let's see this one.
breed 101.
Weird.
Okay, the wolf cat. Let's check it out. We'll play.
This is a long video.
Yeah, it is.
35 minutes. Buckle in.
No, we're not watching it. All right, let's just find out. Breeders, health, lifespan, temperament, pronunciation, history.
It doesn't even matter anymore because I've decided I don't want one. It's hideous.
They look too nasty, bro.
Now these photos, these up here that you've got, those look cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
That
look
very
cool.
first one on the left, that
Yeah.
looks like a werewolf cat. I would get
Exactly.
that.
you just got to roll the dice. You know, some of them are going to come out looking so badass, and the other ones are going to come out looking like they came out of the toilet.
Right.
Toilet wine.
I mean, some of these look really cool. So their face looks awesome. But then when some of those that we saw, the body, it's really just because of the hair, the missing hair. It's like they look ratty, like a rat,
Yeah, that one doesn't.
or like, what is that? Yeah, I mean, a werewolf is not pretty, so just, you know.
Well, that's
I can
fair.
see why
So that
they're
one where your mouse is, that one looks pretty good. Right down. Yep, down. Yeah.
yeah, see that? I can see
Yeah.
like the werewolf face. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I mean, who's the expert on werewolves and how they look? Okay, like what was the first major werewolf movie? American Werewolf in London? Back
So
in the
many
80s.
before then.
Did it start? Well, that would be the second. That would be the second one, right? The first one was just American Werewolf, and then he went to London.
Yeah.
Oh.
London.
That's that, and that was Michael J. Fox, right? Was he in there?
No, you're talking about Teen Wolf.
Mm.
That was
Fair,
like
yeah.
that was like a spoof on that was a comedy.
Who was the American Werewolf?
It was a no-name actor, but it
Oh.
was coined. I mean, it was a horror flick. It was scary when it first came out. For us that, grew up in that time where scary movies weren't like they are today. We weren't as desensitized back then. So a scary movie, like, I mean, Jaws scared the shit out of us. Okay. We went to the
Well,
theater to see Jaws, bro.
well, that was the boom era. Like that was just
Hell
what
yeah.
you did in the 80s was you watched scary movies. I mean, Freddy, Jason,
Yes.
Leprechaun,
Oh yeah.
Gremlins. But
Michael
if you watch
Myers.
all those today, you actually laugh probably more than you're scared.
I know. That's terrible. I know, right? Yep.
Man.
All right, let's get rid of these cats over here. So you got an event coming up this weekend. By the time this podcast comes out, anyone's watching or listening, it this event had just ended yesterday.
Just ended. Yeah.
Yeah, so and it is the contract wars at
It was an epic production
It was
at
epic.
Action Sports,
we don't know yet.
Wisconsin.
We hope it was.
Thousands of people showed up. Thousands of
Mhm.
people descended upon
They
the
used
acreage of
skirmish,
yeah.
and you were frantically over the weekend, frantically trying to keep up with the servers and making sure they didn't crash because there were so many
No,
people. No,
definitely was not doing that. It ran buttery smooth. It
Everything was
scales
fine.
infinitely with no matter how many people want to be on. No choking, no lost sleep on my end.
well, there's definitely not going to be a lot of sleep on your end because Mando is going to be there and help run the thing. So we won't have to worry about, a field owner that doesn't know how to set it up and how to
Woo.
scan the bracelets and get,
It, ru-
just bro,
it runs itself,
it
right,
runs
Mando?
itself. You
It
got to
runs
do two
itself.
things: power the box, either plug it in or put a freaking airsoft battery in it. Okay. Uh, and stick it out there where you need to at the location. And number
Well,
two, scan your bracelets for whatever team.
Mando's going above and beyond. Oh, did
Nope,
we lose him again?
yeah, we lost him again.
No.
Yeah, we did.
I saw him fiddling with his phone. It
Yeah.
was probably telling him his battery was about to die.
It's probably overheating because it's like packed with
Mm-hmm.
cat hair.
No,
Okay. It can't.
so Mando's going above and beyond. He bought these uh like 7,000 amp hour batteries from Alibaba.
Oh
And
shit. No.
he's gonna put all those in the boxes so that
How fat are those?
they don't fit. He's making
Use a peck box, bro. Get a giant peck box for the skirmish
well,
box.
it's a good thing he's a pro at 3D printing. So he actually printed a box that goes around my box, and it's kind of nice actually. I might just start sending it out with all the ones that I sell, so that he just slides it inside and he puts whatever battery he wants back there, and he just slides mine inside, and it like fits
Dude.
in really cleanly. And yeah,
You
so he's got this
guys,
massive battery.
honestly, you two make a really good team.
Yeah, he's great. I
I'm
really enjoyed
serious.
working on that shoulder cannon with him. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, because he talks on the same wavelength. So he understands what information to give you so that you
Hmm.
can properly do what you need to do. Yeah. I like talking to
Yeah.
a guy too. Yep.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was definitely a bit of it was, I knew what I needed to do, but it wasn't coming out quite right. And it just took a while to dig it up and figure out what was going on. And it certainly wasn't obvious that they had flipped one of the axes on, because there's three sensors inside this IMU that we put on there. So, and
What's an
there's a bunch of,
IMU?
it's an inertial measurement unit is what it stands for. But,
Okay. It's like
there's,
gyroscope
yeah,
thing.
so inside it's got it's got an accelerometer, a 3-axis accelerometer, and it's got a 3-axis gyroscope, and then it's got a 3-axis magnetometer. So it's measuring the magnetic field in X, Y, and Z, and it's measuring the spin on the axes in X, Y, and Z, and then it's measuring the acceleration in X, Y, and Z. And so you got to put all that stuff together to figure out which way you're pointing and if you've moved and all that stuff. And that's how it
Yeah.
tracks your head. But what they did inside the device that we picked, which was somewhat at random, they had shifted two of the axes different than the other one. So if you thought you were measuring X on one, you're actually measuring like Z on the other.
Oh shit.
And so it was just getting kind of screwy. It took forever to figure out, but I ended up finding the manual, which was mostly in Chinese, and like kind of, you know, pouring through some of the information in it, and it ended up, you know, saying that, which would have been obvious to the people that
Well,
made it, but I didn't know.
how would how would those guys know? Like, were there markings on it some way to know, like, okay,
No,
turn it? Oh, really?
no, the chip's like the size of your like fingernail. It's super small.
Whoa.
There's almost no markings on it at all.
So,
So
okay. All right.
There
yeah,
is withery right now.
you're back.
You're back, buddy.
Just got struck by a bolt of lightning, but I'm good.
Nice.
You know, we thought maybe it took out your phone, but you're still here. So
Yeah, I was running the Wi-Fi, and then all of a sudden, all the internet starts going out, or the 4G starts going out, and I was like, "Oh my god!" So now I'm back on the Ethernet because that's up and running again. So we'll see what happens. You guys talking about those chips? The chips?
no, but I can talk a little bit about that. Actually, well, because you use those, which is you're gonna get me in trouble because I make everybody else buy wristbands. And
Hey,
you're
wristbands are way better. By the
what's
way,
that?
said wristbands are way better.
I think so. That's why we went in that direction. But those are definitely a suitable alternative.
Well,
Let me,
what is what's that one? A necklace you can put around your neck?
yeah.
Put
So,
over your head?
well, what he's got are the chips that I use for the gloves, and
Oh, okay.
also what I'm trying to do is like kind of soft break out into the prop market, but I'm not really making props. What I'm doing is I'm enhancing props that already exist.
Hmm.
And so actually Mando is going to be one of the first, well, he already used some of this stuff. So the idea is that you can attach a chip into any arbitrary item and you can use it in the game to do things. So like what he ended up doing was he built these detonators that are this, you know, Star Wars detonators, and um, he didn't want to have to fumble, you know, pull his phone out and flip the box to a bomb and then go through all that, uh, you know, that process in order to make the bomb thing work. So I programmed those chips so that when you present any of the boxes with that chip, then it automatically turns into a bomb and detonates it. So he gave his, you know, he had these
Oh,
guys
in
that
the
were running
chip?
around with, yeah, yeah. So it would be, so the device is normally capture point. So they're playing it back and forth all day like they normally would. And then you put the chip inside of his detonator, and all they had to do is take the detonator to the place where the objective was, and it would flip it to a bomb immediately and then arm it without them doing anything else. And so you would be able to then have these detonators be active in the game where they're actually blowing up objectives,
That's wild.
which is super fun.
So you
So that,
programmed it to do so, like it changes the box. You don't have to go in there live and change the box, whatever, you know, when they
yeah,
need to, whatever. It does it through the chip.
yes. Yeah, so
Whoa,
it makes the system more interactive. And so
bro.
some other things that I'm working on
That's
now
wild.
are there's actually, it turns out, like the more I
You
think
can do a
about it, there's
lot
not
with
a,
that.
yeah, you could, yeah.
I mean, like
Um,
medic chips.
yes,
Holy
that's the next
shit.
thing.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
so the next thing is going to be so what I would like to do is get to the theory or the thought, the idea is you have a box full of medic supplies, like, you know, somewhere on the field they're spread out, and the teams have some limited number of medics, but they've got to go retrieve these boxes. They bring them back to whatever their base is, and maybe when they pop the box open, there's like 20, you know, medic bags or whatever, and they can take
Yeah.
one out and they can scan it, and it enables more medicing. And they can just, you know, they can do that. So it forces teams to be, you know, to go play the objectives, retrieve whatever item, bring it back, and then it all just kind of happens seamlessly for them. So that's at least one thing. The other thing is just whether or not you want to enable, or, you know, because the objectives can also be forward medic outposts. So you can enable that feature on that. So like if you get a medic into that region, you can flip the point to be a medic outpost, or maybe disable that feature if you wanted to do that. Yeah, so just gives them
Are
some
you
more to do.
are you looking to market this on your website? Because if so, anyone out there that plays the big not skirmish, but the big Milsim events, the 3-day Milsim events, especially like Third Coast Airsoft, there's 700 people, you know, hundreds of people, where in Mando, okay, you know, all these different things where there's a lot of these guys that go to these events, these milsims. They go every year to the same event. Okay. Stonebreaker, they've been, you know, however long they've been going. Okay. Every year, and every year they go as a rifleman or a machine gunner or as a medic, or because that's what they like. They could get a medic band that's going to be marketed soon, coming soon to a field near you or an event near you. Okay. And turn it red and white. Okay. Get the red and white band that's going to be for medic, like first aid looking. And you can be a medic on the field and go tap that box and it'll turn medic. Dude, there's a lot of potential with putting these things into big events like this. If you can
Yeah,
put
I
that kind
think
of technology in the chip.
yeah, and you can't it's hard, you know, you can't really mess it up because it just kind of does it for you. I think, you
Listen
know,
up, event
yeah,
coordinators. Okay. For real
yeah,
now.
this, I mean, you know, like when Mando plays these events, he has like 25 boxes on the field, 20, you know, 25 different objective points, medic points, bombs going off, things flipping back and forth. It's just not possible to do with anything else.
No.
Any of the other apps out there, I challenge you to try to do that with any of them out there. You
They
cannot do it.
can't, dude. This is what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. And Mando, you're one of the biggest innovators with working with Skirmish to push the limits and change things and kind of innovate, which Airsoft needs, to be honest. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, "Oh, dude, you don't even play Airsoft. Why are you talking like that?" I'm just saying, from my perspective, what I've heard, all these different stories, Airsoft's been kind of stale, okay, for quite a while. I'm talking about gear and guns, and there's not been a whole lot of innovation. Like Wolverine Airsoft, they're doing some cool shit. You're doing some cool events, but they're really, as far as the Airsoft in general, like an AEG 10 years ago is an AEG today. Like when a 17-year-old gets an Airsoft, same shit, okay? There's not a whole lot of difference. And they go there, a lot of these events, it's force on force, and they really haven't innovated to make the event more interesting or whatever. They might add a couple little things here and there, but it doesn't really change. And it's like, where is the when you leave the event, this is what I've said from day one, once I found out about Skirmish, you leave the event and you go back home, you got all these cool stories, you got all these cool pictures, it's awesome, but how did you do? How did your team do at the event? Nobody knows. You have no idea. Skirmish is the only way to keep track of this stuff.
Yeah, you wait for the AAR to come out from whatever faction or admin
And they
who
say Tan Team won 786 to 528.
you're like, oh, neat.
Awesome.
Sounds good.
Like
But actually, I think
deflating.
so, you know, you know, skirmish aside, I think the real innovation is with what Mando's doing with the role play. And I tell a lot of people, and you know, the Galactic Civil War series is the best example, but it could be anything else. It could be any role play you want it to be. I can't think of a great one off the top of my head outside of Star Wars. I think it's probably one of the most the best ways to do it. But I mean, you just pick your genre that you wanna do instead, and that's I, the I've never seen more people on the field having as much fun as I did at like the Galactic Civil War because everybody was involved in the role play, and with dying being part of the game, they were happy to do it and to play their part, play that role for whatever time it was, their time to do that. And just I haven't seen that on any other event, and I've been to quite a few events, and usually the force on force, there's always some breakdown of somebody's getting mad, somebody they get it starts to get lopsided or
Right.
whatever,
There's always a
and
stalemate.
there's always something that leaves people rubbed at the end of it, and I don't think anybody I really don't think anybody was having a bad time at the Galactic Civil War that I made it to in Bolivar.
No, because everyone
And
has a
and
role to play and they're
yeah,
really heavily involved in it. Because there's story involved. And by the way, the guy that's running it, uh, Mando, is passionate as hell about what he's doing. So that really does make a difference, you know? It doesn't get routine.
Yeah.
And you know what, dude, when you got knocked out earlier, I was looking at you, you know, I had the 878
Yeah.
Instagram page up with the event thing coming up or whatever for the Galactic Civil War. I did not realize that you change locations for that. I thought it was at the same location every year, the Galactic Civil War.
Oh yeah, yeah. We do we've had 3 different places now. So this will be
That's a lot of work.
our third area that we're doing it. So and that's always been kind of the goal, is to get this a little bit more of a traveling series. And you know, maybe in 10, 15, 20, how I don't know how long it will be before I can retire. But whenever that does happen, that can just be my side hustle when I
Yeah.
retire, is just taking this thing around the
Get a
country.
giant badass RV with
Yep.
all your tech stuff in it, and pop outs on the sides, you know, when you park. And then
We
yeah.
we have the 2 different styles events, right? We have the Battlefront series event, and then we have what we are now calling the Story LARP, which is your continual nonstop story. It's we set up the theme. There's hundreds of quests and things like that that go into staffing NPCs, NPC vendor booths, all that kind of stuff that is just perpetual on the field nonstop. And those events are great, but they are very, very different from your regular weekend game. They take a little bit extra preparation on admin side, because we are writing stories, we're writing quests, and these are all open ended, because if something doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, and that story doesn't get told, and that's fine.
How many
And
guys do you have helping like write all
so
this
we
stuff?
have one guy who is the lead, the lore master and lead admin for like the NPCs. We brought on 2 other people to help in that NPC area, so we've got 2 more other admins that are in that. But basically, the way it works now is you have that lead lore master who kind of creates the structure, the skeleton of the story now. So at our next story LARP will be back in Bolivar, Missouri at the Rock. But so he's already working on that, putting that skeleton in place. And then we have a bunch of admins who are kind of in charge of different factions or sub factions. So you have Rebel admins, Imperial admins, admins who might be part of the HUD affiliation, admins who are Mandalorian affiliations. So
I don't mean to cut you off, but how did you get, like, you're building a team?
yeah.
So
Where
I don't think I ever
did that
asked you
come
this
from?
before when we
Yeah.
talked, but how did you get, you know, how did you get all these guys together and say, hey, can you do this role? Can you write for this stuff?
It
And
all stemmed from the Galactic Airsoft Alliance. So it was a group that was formed on Facebook years ago, and I wasn't even part of the lead team there. It was just a few people that really, really like Star Wars and really, really like recreation and really like reenacting, and also love airsoft. So they created this group, and it was around the same time that I had like start building my Mandalorian kits and had gotten back into airsoft with that mentality of the 6mm Mandalorian was going to be my, you know, my avatar for the next whatever, you know, it's going to be the stem where everything grows off of. And like I saw that and came across that group from the stuff I was posting, and it was like, hey, all right, I'll jump in there. And then I just started help promoting them, and then we started talking about doing an event and what that would look like, and I got very involved in that process. So that's when I was brought on to like their side of the admin team of the Galactic Airsoft Alliance. And then from there, like, it was, all right, what's the rule set look like? And, you know, all work together on making the best rule set that we could, because we've all been playing airsoft for 10, 15, 20 years. And we have a lot of experience there, and we've all had a lot of experience of going to a lot of different places, because we've got people from Colorado, we got people from Texas, we got people from Minnesota, we got people, you know, all across the board where our admin team came from, have done things that worked and have done things that haven't worked. So we're all able to come up with a generalized rule set and start growing it from there. But I had a couple fields that I had good rapport with that I was the lead on getting a hold of those guys and like, all right, Rock, let's try to do an event at the Rock. Let's try to do an event in Action Sports Wisconsin, which was my local field. And now Texas, that's their local.
How did the Rock become one of your target fields? Was it just that you like the territory, or because you're not really near them, right?
No. So I had gone down to that field a couple times for other events because I am originally from Iowa, so it wasn't as far of a drive for me. But I had gone out to there for another Star Wars event that happened, I think, in 2019. So kind of right before the whole COVID thing started hitting everything. Was it 2020, 2019? And the field was awesome because it just looked alien and it looked bizarre. So
that's what Brandon was saying earlier. Yeah, it looks like you walked into a different planet.
Yeah, and that was the main goal of wherever we try to go. We tried not to go places that you're like, oh yeah, this is super earthy. You're still gonna have that because most fields you'll have like cars or campers or RVs or whatever getting pushed onto the field because they're easy, cheap props for the field to utilize. But okay, Cat, you're done. You're done. Yeah, but the boulevard that I was working alongside, there's the Midwest Airsoft Youth League, which had put on that Star Wars event the first time that I had gone down to, and we were working alongside each other, but stuff wasn't working out. So then I just kind of took the lead on the event and rolling the event from there because they all had other things going on in their lives that they couldn't focus on doing Star Wars events anymore. So that's when we just kept going forward with the whole Galactic Civil War series and just kept building it and advertising it and talking about it, and then started putting out a good event and then another good event, and then expanded with Skirmish and got that into the mix. And now the things that we're able to do and grow and utilize Skirmish for storytelling is the biggest part. So we've been trying to teach our players to understand Skirmish because sometimes it's not something that people can wrap their head around, especially when you're the event coordinator like I am, who wants to use all the features right away because they sound so cool.
Yeah.
But the people who have
that can be overwhelming to a new person, because even to a field owner.
Yeah, and if they haven't touched it or they haven't started thinking about how things work, then they're going to have a bad time because it's not going to work the way that they think it's supposed to work because they weren't paying attention during briefing, or the longer your briefings get, the
they
less
don't pay attention during briefing.
Information they retain. It doesn't matter how many videos you put out explaining the rule set or whatever, that you're going to miss something somewhere.
You just put out a video for just something really basic for the thing you signed, the waiver, right? It's like just a real short basic video that shows that. I've seen fields do that on their website or their Instagram or whatever. They post it, and then somebody, these people show up and they go, what was I supposed to do? Like, oh dude, okay, you didn't watch the video, whatever.
You didn't even try. But
on that topic though, if you are a field owner out there and you're listening, you don't have to use everything that Skirmish offers day one. Especially if like medics and respawns don't work for you because you're doing these stim packs in the field or whatever, like, okay, don't use medics in Skirmish, just use the objective function. Like do what
kind of where we're gearing with the contract wars. So that's it's an event that's being done by Action Sports Wisconsin. I'm just going to help implement Skirmish so they can give it a try, because I've always been very interested in it, and they love to look at it and ask me questions about it when I'm on the field for my events that I do there. But you know, it's always that thing where you're hesitant or you're asking yourself questions, or is this something that my players actually want to use? But in all reality, if you just take the time and you start slow with some of your player base and let them learn the base system before you get too far into all the really fun things that like a game master like I like to scheme and plot over the entire map and how it's going to look and how it's going to change and how we can change the medic times around when certain things happen and all that fun stuff that we can do. But sometimes you just got to pump the brakes a little bit and just show them, all right, base level, this is what it looks like. And from there, you can start building on that experience for players, because there is so many cool things that you can do within Skirmish. And like, just like Brandon was saying, just capture points. And, you know, I'd been talking with the field owner and one of their main ref at Action Sports Wisconsin, and just like our own little group chat, just like, all right, so here's the stuff we can do. Here's kind of what the map is looking like so far. Like, what are your inputs? Like, what do you want to do? You know, do you want to do respawn limits at this one? Do you want to have certain quotes give respawns back to teams? And that's all stuff that I'm super excited to implement into the next Galactic Civil War full story, because that can get tied into the lore of the whole event. You know, you could have Bacta reserves that allow your team to get additional respawns when your players are going and collecting that resource, or like patrol missions can be set up in the Odyssey mode, where there's a box that you have to scan into, and then you have to go to 4 different boxes on the map and check in. So there's your patrol mission right there. Your Imperial soldiers can go scan in that and do patrols and get paid for each patrol that they complete or successfully complete. And that's just all built in to what the game is doing. And me as a admin just would need to pull up and be like, okay, yep, it says you completed your mission there. Here's your payout. And
when you and I talked last time and you told me about that at that event, where you had set it up to where guys would scan in, and then they had to go to each box all the way around and scan in to show that they did this, you know, loop or patrol route or whatever. I was blown away, bro. Like, this is like, that's the kind of stuff that other events are missing out on when they don't use the skirmish system.
There's another function that we're going to it's the same function, we're just going to use it a little differently. And that's the big thing, is we're going to have that same you scan a box, you go to 4 different points, and then you scan another box, and then you're done with your task, but it's in a completely different scenario. So at 878, the night game, we're going to have 2 different things going on. One is going to be like a 4 versus 4 tournament round robin thing going on in one part of the field. Basically like a little arena action that people can go place their wagers on which team's going to win, kind of like that fun, campy, like gladiatorial arena. And then the other part at the night game takes place on the main part of the field. And that is at Battlefront Boulevard, or our first Boulevard event, we created these guys called the Bolvosi, which are basically like the Tusken Raiders, right? So they're savage, they don't care, they're just going to try to kill you, kind of deal. But they are slightly intelligent. But at this event, we will have what we call the Bolvosi hunt, and there are going to be players, and you can go into as big of a group as you want or as small as a group as you want. But your goal is basically to survive. So you will be given a place where you have to go spawn one of these points. That will start your mission. Then you'll have to go to the 4 different spots on the field to scan your chip, and then you have to make it to extract. So you basically have to get onto the field. You start your game there. There's going to be 20 plus of these Bolvosi guys roaming around the field, basically trying to kill anything that's out there. And your job is to get in and get out alive.
This is anyone that's played Division 2, played Countdown. on Division 2. This is Countdown right here.
Yeah.
Like you got major bosses trying to kill you in Countdown. You have to go to each objective, you know, complete this one first, then go to this building, this part of the building, whatever, and do that thing first, or, you know, second, and then get to extraction at the end, all in 15 minutes on Division 2 with Countdown. But yeah, that sounds awesome, dude.
So
Have you talked with Chad at 878 about a lot of this too already, or is he going to get? Yeah, so he's tracking it all. I bet he's pretty excited.
yeah, so we're
I'm excited
basically
hearing about it. Like
we're
honestly,
setting
like
up,
this is really cool.
we're setting up his boxes and his stuff into their like mini indoor area, and then all of our boxes will be on the main field. So his players will be able to, like, we'll have walk-ons, but the walk-ons are just going to be able to go play it as indoor area, and they just
Okay.
play with each other. And then we'll have the main field taken for the day, and then at the night, then we get both areas. So then, you know, we have the at the Battlefront event, you're looking at 2-hour combat rounds and then like an hour break in between. So that's one of the nice things that we get to do with the Battlefront event is kind of stop it, start it, stop it, start it, reset things if we want to reset things. And basically you're just setting up like a 2-hour scenario, and each 2-hour scenario is the main map, but then there's going to be little tweaks done to different things. So maybe one of the missions that happens is, you know, the first map is there's rebels versus Imperials. They both spawn in different parts of the map, and they are just trying to get as many points as they can to win that round. Okay. That's the first round, just straightforward. Now you add in the factor of, okay, whoever wins that round now has the ability to do an additional mission on top of just capturing the skirmish points. So if the rebels win, they have to go find the detonators somewhere on the map and then get those detonators to blow up a certain point. So they have their main mission of, you know, trying to win the round normally by score, but then they also have that submission of like having to locate the detonators, get the detonators over to the other spot. And now if they do that, then they get additional credits on top of their winning credits. If they don't, they know they've put too many resources into completing the side mission. Now the Imperials will take the lead, right? So it's kind of that Mario Kart balancing that kind of incentivizes the winning team to have more distractions, you know, and then it allows the losing team more focus on just like winning the skirmish map and winning that round. But then we also have the ability to change where the teams are spawning to begin with. So if we want them to, you know, focus on this part of the map this round, we're going to start them closer to each other now. And so the action's going to be very quick right off the bat. And then later they might be further out where there's just going to be the build up to the main attacking point in the center of the map where you're attacking each other. So that's the nice thing about the Battlefront series is you have the ability to like stop. The round's over.
Okay.
It's been 2 hours. Everyone come off the field. You get your payouts for winning. You get your credits.
Everyone knows, like, is there a timer or like, how do they know? Okay.
Yeah. So we have the start time, and then we tell them this is the end time, and then we got little speaker alarms going off.
Oh, okay.
Everybody. So when the round's over,
That's
everyone
cool.
comes off field. But after that, then you have that time before everybody goes back out again, where there's the role players who are off field, like doing their little skits or setting up mini side quests that anybody can do. That kind of sets up a little bit more of that atmosphere for the next round. So even what Brandon was talking about when he was at Battlefront Boulevard, he saw the Battlefront series event where, you know, people were coming off the field, yucking their war stories from the last round, like doing some weird bounty things where they're trying to like figure out certain bounty quests that are going on or learn different intel about the next round, or like somebody comes off the field with like a pilot, but it's a corpse of a pilot and a skeleton costume. They like bring them off field. They're like, does anyone know where this body's supposed to go?
Holy shit.
Like,
yeah, I don't know if it's revealing too much about how you do your events, if you wanted it to be a secret or not. So Chris will print massive posters, not like an 8x11 sheet, but like, I don't know, this thing must be like, 10 sheets of paper if you were to stack them up. It's
like a movie poster.
like a movie poster. It's huge. So he'll
Really?
print those in real time. So they'll snap a picture of somebody that's at the event, put them on the bounty poster, put something in Star Wars garble, like, so you
No,
have to
you
like,
literally print something on the field. You have a printer?
yeah, and then post, and then
That's a
they'll post it
lie.
all over the
That's
place.
not a thing.
People
We
get to
don't do
see like
that.
Come on.
there's a bounty on
Who's
them or
talking
whatever, and
shit
then
here? What's going on? I want to see this. This sounds
Okay,
amazing.
so we've got
I mean, that's like high production value.
we got small thermal printers, right? So those we can do on the field,
So
right
you have
there.
you have a printer on the field.
But
no,
what
they
we
weren't
do,
small. They
no,
were
no,
big,
no,
and it
yeah,
was color. They were color
I'll,
printers.
I'll key Brandon in on our secret. Okay. So one of the things that we do is we allow players to submit photos of their costumes ahead of time to receive additional starting credits. So what we do with some of those is we will make some of those people certain bounty quests. So we already have the pictures of the players in the costumes that they're wearing, but then we print those off ahead of time, and then we just double check to make sure that they've made it out to the event, and then we can hang them if that is something we want to do. If there is a certain reason that we want that
I mean,
person.
that's fucking badass though, bro.
So, and then all of a sudden you're being hunted. You might not even know.
No, I know. When he was telling me when last time we talked, he was talking about these bounty missions. I was like, bro, this is freaking insane. Like I've not heard any event that is like this with all of these things going on. It's just there's honestly there's something for everyone.
Yeah.
Like there really
No,
is. Because at
there's
these
no
bigger
other event that's
events,
doing this.
no, there's no event host that's doing this. At most events, guys get, they get introduced to airsoft. They go, oh, let's go to a milsim, and with their friends or whatever that's been to a similar type. And so they go to a force on force type, and I'm really not putting them down at all. I'm these are awesome starting points. The camaraderie, all the cool shit that happens at a 3-day milsim or whatever. But if you really want to get into LARP and story, and which most humans want to hear stories, okay? Like we really want to hear stories. That's how we love stories, okay? My granddaughter is 6, and we were driving back from Myrtle Beach last week, 2 weekends ago. She was riding with us, and she's like, Papa, tell me a story. So, and she gave me a premise, like where to start from. Okay, it was based on the new Trolls movie, the kids movie or whatever, Trolls 3 or whatever. And so I just came up, I told a story to her, and she was just feeding into it, right? And this is a really common thing that we love, and this is why LARPing is so. I think why LARPing is so. It's not that popular mainstream, but it's intense for the people that are into it, right? They're really into it, and it's because of the stories. And
I think
you've
I think
got,
it's bigger. It's bigger than we think. Like
yeah, I think so,
it might not take the front page, but
right?
the biggest events in airsoft have got to be Rev at Balahack. That's got to
Yeah,
be the biggest,
yeah,
and it is pure LARP. It is
yep.
as immersive as what Chris is doing. Everything. I mean, so he was talking before about looking for fields that don't have, don't feel earthy, so cars and things like that not being
Right.
present. Well, Balahack will do, when they do their events, they will remove, like, go in with forklifts and pick up and move cars off the field so that they don't interrupt that
Oh,
immerse,
really?
the immersion that they
Oh, I
want.
didn't know that.
Yeah,
Okay.
so like one of their popular ones is this Wild West.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
West
Wild West.
You're absolutely required to have,
Yeah.
a period piece,
Uniform
so
requirements.
6-shooter or
Yep.
whatever, pump action type stuff,
Yep.
bolt action or whatever,
I love that.
lever action, and then but they will go in and they will repaint things. They will do the whole like Westerner look. They will move anything that's from the future is gone, absolutely
Now
going.
here's a question I've got. So Wild West event, you think that they would let me bring the full Predator outfit during
No,
to the Wild West event?
probably
Yes.
not to the Wild
Now
West.
think of it though.
Yeah, you would
right?
though. Yeah, you
Because
should.
of because of the movie, like the Predators came
No,
into like the
Yeah,
not
it is
because of the
the
movie,
Wild
but
West.
because the Predator based on time travel, so they can go anywhere, anytime.
oh yeah.
The
Yeah, it's
Yakuza, there was
they're the smart. They got smarticles. Okay, they got smarticles. They can travel anywhere, anytime. So they
Maybe I
could
don't know.
end up in
they
the old west.
existed because there
You
was
give it a I
what
would
was the
I
movie
wouldn't
Prey?
turn you away. I wouldn't turn you away no matter what the rules were. So I think yeah.
No, the movie was called Prey, where it was the Native American that the predator was hunting.
Yeah.
That was probably one of the best Predator movies outside of the original.
Yeah.
I mean I might put it up there against the original.
What was it called?
Wait a minute.
Prey.
Yeah, I gotta look this up.
Prey?
I'm gonna pull it
I
up
don't
on the
know if I've
screen.
ever heard of that.
Now, I played the game Prey back in the day, bro. That was an iconic.
That's when movies were so good that they made video games about them that were equally as good.
No, Prey movie came out after the original Prey game was a long time ago. So Prey looks fairly new in the last couple years. Here, I'll share the screen.
2022.
Yeah.
Oh wow. So it did not make theaters, or did it? Oh, it's on Hulu.
It is on Hulu.
I can
We have
watch that.
Hulu. Yeah, I can watch that too. No, I did not see this. Holy shit. Okay. Y'all aren't gonna hear it
Alright.
because I didn't put the sound on, but this is kind of a long preview, but so you're talking is Predator gonna show up at some point?
Yeah, I think right where there you go. See him jumping in the trees.
Oh shit.
There was that still shot of like the bear
Yeah.
that was about to attack her, and it freaking pops up right behind her and like
Oh,
pops up
okay.
right behind the bear and murders the bear.
Did this make it to
Like
theaters?
starts hunting.
It
I
looked
think
like
so,
it
yeah.
did.
Oh, only on Hulu, or is that just only on after?
Okay, here we
Interesting.
go. Here's the bear.
I think it was in theaters. I don't know. I think I watched it straight when it because it might have done like released at home at the same time as in theaters.
Sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn. They're being
Yeah.
very okay, 10 Cloverfield Lane. I get it.
Yeah, watch that. It's freaking great. It's like I said, it's probably one of my favorites.
I did not know
You've
that
got
they made another
Predator,
Predator thing. Yeah.
you've got Alien and
Holy
Aliens,
shit.
and like
The
this.
last
right
Predator
here,
movie I
Wait,
watched was AVP. Okay.
And
How long ago was
Aliens
that?
don't show up in this, do they?
no,
No. Okay.
the xenomorphs.
That is wild, bro. Okay. Well, Brandon, you and I have something to watch now.
Yeah, you got homework
Yeah.
now.
I might turn that on. Oh, was that your
Did you
Predator
see
fan?
did you see the yeah, did you see the things on her
trilogy.
forehead? Did you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Look.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild that became a something we recognize in movies. Those three little dots.
Try laser.
Yeah.
You're good.
That's cool.
Well, I'm excited for your event in
Yeah, me too, man.
in November. There's a lot going on there. Actually, we should shout out quick too to Paul's event, because I think it's the same day, November 9th. I have to look. It's his Code Orange event.
Oh,
He's
You're
coming.
talking about Otherworld Muslim? Well,
Yeah.
the next one that he's putting on is here in South Carolina at GTI. It's middle of September, so a couple weeks from now. And I don't remember the name of it. I'll have to look it up. But
I think it's
Brandon,
called what? Oh my gosh, it's I had it on my brain and it just left.
we're gonna find it.
Drago, Operation Drago.
Yeah,
That's what it was.
That's it. Yep.
But
So what you need to do, Brandon, is come up with a skirmish system package based on difficulty level. You know how video games, right? You start out as a novice.
I
So
know.
new field owners that are new to skirmish only offer them the novice package. And when you're telling them about it, only tell them what is involved in the novice package. Do not tell them the full spectrum of opportunity and don't tell them everything that it can do. Okay.
That is the novice
because
package.
they go,
it's just me not telling
they
them what it
go,
can
their
do.
eyes gloss over 2 minutes into the conversation. They go, TMI, like I have no clue. Like you lost me a minute and a half ago, like 30 seconds in.
For any field,
because it can do so much.
Owners, for any field owners out there listening to that, thinking to themselves, yeah, that's what I need. I just want you to know that every time I hear that, I die inside just a little bit more.
Well,
I put so much time into it. All these features.
Listen, that's fine. You can die a little bit, but you'll grow as your business grows because you'll be happy that more fields and more field owners are happy with the system, using it at their level, not your level. Okay. This, bro, by the way, y'all two are smart as fuck. Okay. And Brandon, you're really smart. Yeah. Don't shake your head. You're really smart. So, you gotta just offer people the base level. Okay. Give them options. Give them options.
Yeah. It comes set up at the base level for everybody that's ready to go. It comes set up with a nice simple map. I set up capture points, very simple games.
And then you go into
basic conquest.
And if you want to do this, you could do this. And if you want to do this, and they go, I'm
going to start putting that in the footnotes.
I can't, I don't know. I'm trying to run this event. It's my first event. I don't know what I'm doing. And what now? What do I have to do with this box? Holy shit.
Turn it on.
No, dude.
Just turn it on.
Put a battery in it, stick it over here, give your, scan your bracelets and tell people tap it when you get there. That's it. Okay.
That's the new motto. Just tap.
Just tap.
I don't say much. I don't say much else. I just say just tap.
Tappity tap tap.
But people are gonna hold no matter what. They're gonna sit there and hold it. And then they'll learn.
I know, right?
I have no idea where I'm supposed to actually scan it on the box. It's just right where the symbol is. Just
there's lights on it that light up and tell me. They give me feedback. What? Holy shit. Okay. I mean, it's dummy proof. It's literally dummy proof. Bro, I was in the Marines. I am dumb. That was not a slant. I understand how the skirmish works. Holy shit. But no, for real though, it is for somebody, and it's not a matter of somebody being smart or dumb. It's that when somebody's putting on an event, and I've been to a couple of them enough to know that there's a lot involved. They got a lot of things going on that they need to pay attention to, right? With safety and the waivers and somebody's ticket and not everything's going to be streamlined and smooth and perfect. You're going to have 10% of the people show up and don't know what the fuck, like, oh, I tried to do the registration and I don't know what happened and I can't do it on my phone and I don't have internet and I don't know, like who knows? They live in a camper in the woods. I don't know. So they show up to the event. There's going to be 10% of those people, right? And so the event coordinator is handling all that shit going on. And then somebody goes, oh, my bracelet won't work. I tapped this thing. Oh, no, you see those green lights? Yeah, it worked. Okay. And then somebody's like, oh shit, I didn't bring my Star Wars gear. Damn, like.
Well, luckily they're selling gear at the Galactic Civil War event, so you can come and
there you go,
buy whatever you need to get your kit going. I was actually super impressed by that too, because it wasn't leather. It was like some kind of fabric though, Chris. I don't remember what it was, but it was all he would mold it in place and give you little armor for your shoulders and chest. You know what I'm talking about? There was a guy that had like a a big ice chest looking thing full of random armor bits and pieces, and it was what is that material?
I mean, there's Warbler.
Maybe
There-
Warbler. Is
What's
that
that?
an earthy material? Is that an
That's
earthy material, or is that the Star Wars name for it?
the earthly tone term, and that's like a thermoplastic. It just has really
Okay,
low index for heat, so like you can
that's
do
what it
a heat
was.
gun pretty
Yeah,
quick.
yeah.
Then it holds form.
Is that
But
3D printed items?
yeah,
No, he just like heated it and bent it.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Um,
There's but even like the vac form stuff, you can. It's like that ABS 2 millimeter stuff. You can use a heat gun on that and do that pretty easy if you're trying to like get it to form to somebody. Do those quick
yeah,
edit. You know, one guy like is doing a bunch of that armor. He's getting into that vac form stuff, and we've got a relationship with 850 Armor Works, which does a lot of like the 501st full circle 501st costume stuff, but specifically works with us on like making airsoft version kits. So they might not have the full detail, but they, or maybe they do, but they're on the cheaper end. So you can get like your full scout trooper armor done up and get bits and pieces. So we can buy it in certain parts if you want to buy a part out part. Because some stuff, thermal, like the vac form stuff is really good. Sometimes 3D printed stuff is really good. Sometimes there's different, you want to source your kit from a lot of different things. So like my gauntlets that I make, those are all 3D printed, and I like those in 3D printed because they're a lot more sturdy than like a vac form piece of armor. But you're also building stuff into it. So you need it to be robust enough that it can hold a 40 millimeter launcher on top of it and not spin around your arm. So you need it to like hold its shape. And when you have it on like a really light piece of vac formed armor, that stuff will be spinning around even if you're trying to
Okay.
secure it right.
What do you have, like Velcro strips, like those stretchy or elastic kind of
Yeah, we'll use that on
straps that you
some
put
part
in?
of the armor. Yeah, just the Velcro, like double-sided elastic stuff that works really good for like, you know, shoulders or like leg armor to like lock into your leg armor. But really the gauntlets, that is like a clamshell. So it will clamshell shut. It's got little lock pins in it that will snap into place.
Oh
And
shit.
then I use like foam on the inside to like get a really tight
Okay.
fit, so it'll be hard to close
It
it,
clamps
but
down, right?
once it's in place, then it's not gonna move around on your arm.
That's a tough spot to do. Like even legs too, but like your forearm, because it's obviously really thick up here and really thin, you know, narrow down at your wrist. That's hard to get that just right so it doesn't spin around.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
yeah.
Well, I got
Well, anyway,
I got the page pulled up for Otherworld Milsim.
Oh, Code Orange. Yeah, I was wrong. It
So,
was the weekend before. It's down
well,
there at. So Draco is soon, couple weeks.
right. That's the one. Yeah, Draco is the one that's coming up. That's their next one. That's here in South Carolina at
Yeah,
GTI.
they're not going to bring Skirmish to that one, but I believe they are bringing it just to set it up and kind of just get a feel for whether or not, because those are some really thick. It's an old nuclear plant, right?
Yeah.
GTI.
Yeah.
And so the walls were like, I don't know, this is some absurd thick concrete walls, and there's concern that, if anything were to get in and out of there. So they're gonna set up a few things and see how it works and maybe bring it in the future. But anyway, yeah. So Draco is next, and then Code
So
Orange is the
I've
second.
been to GTI. Yes, they do have there's a solution. You just get a handful, more boxes to talk to each other to get
Yep.
it out to the outside of the building. So
I
you
think
could put one in the basement and you put one on the stairwell.
Yeah.
The stairwell is a really popular like check or choke point where a lot of people congregate, right? Where they
I
go
think
to.
people will be impressed with where it works. I mean, a lot of so the players wanted guys have been going to prisons as well quite a bit lately, and
those are thick walls.
yeah, thick walls. I can't remember the name of the prison that they went to. It was somewhere in New York, maybe Pennsylvania area. But at any rate, they were putting boxes inside the prison cells that were surrounded by,
Concrete
the
and steel.
concrete and steel cages and all that, and it was working fine. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Um, it-
see it having a problem, honestly. And by the way, GTI, it's a very big AO, but it's got Wi-Fi. When I was there, the couple times I was there, I stayed close to the Wi-Fi most of the time so that I could do my live streams, with Instagram or whatever, and put out some updates or whatever. And they have a whole side of trailers where we stayed, where you can rent, to stay there. Me and my son stayed there, with like little rooms and stuff, and that's where the Wi-Fi is, and it goes pretty far. Like it's not
mhm.
like 100 feet. I was walking around talking, and there's a helicopter flying over. There's all kind of shit going on, and I didn't get cut out. Like the Wi-Fi was great. So there's a really the AO where the playable action is not that far from where the Wi-Fi spot is. So the skirmish system will work awesome there, honestly.
Yeah,
And
I
there's
believe it'll be
not a
fine.
lot of stuff in the way. Like it's
Yeah,
really
plus
open.
you have access to like the roofs and the high buildings, and you just need one high point,
Exactly.
and then you
Yep.
can go pretty much forever.
Yep.
If you get away from the ground, RF works phenomenal.
There's one of the main buildings is like right in the middle is
Mhm.
most of the time they're allowed to access the roof. My boys have been up there. That these teams go up there on the roof on purpose to shoot down, and so there you have roof access. Yeah, it'll work great there. It's just trying to convince these guys to implement it in their. They'll get there. They'll get there. It might take some time.
Well, they're, I mean, you kind of talked about it a little bit earlier. It's new. It's an extra thing for them to monitor. I like to, I do tell people that it runs itself, and it will, but you are gonna always have somebody taking a look at it, keeping an eye on it. Things happen. Maybe a battery dies that
They're
you
already
weren't
doing
planning
that
on, or
though. Just so you
yeah,
know,
and
like these big
oh
events,
yeah,
they're
exactly.
already
Yeah,
doing that. Yeah.
the difference is, right, if you have, there's no way you would be able to keep track of, let's say, 25 objectives with one person,
Nope.
otherwise, right? So you can do all these things that, Chris was talking about earlier with, these tasks that people are set up and going on and all this other stuff. And you can manage that all with one person, and not really even really that overtasked. So to me, the payoff is huge. I mean, you have one person who's kind of dedicated to just kind of keeping tabs, and you can do all you just all the different things you can do now. You can keep track of. You can advance and accelerate the gameplay.
Well, when
And
when
enhance
these
the player
guys
experience.
have any kind of objections, or oh, we have all this stuff going on, we just point to Mando and his events. Like, dude,
Yeah, because I
match
think
that.
you do it
Bro.
all. You're kind of the admin for Skirmish, right, Mando, or do you have somebody else help you with that?
Yeah.
And
For the
so, and
most
that's on top of
Yeah, but he's also
running all
training
the other
people.
logistics. Yeah,
He's also training people with it. Like you got some cool videos that show like how to do like the how-to stuff, and you're training your guys, how to use it.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing now is each event I like take another admin and I kind of introduce them like how to monitor and run it. Not that you want like 7 different people on the
Right.
inside, poking stuff and touching stuff.
Yeah.
But that's the biggest thing is like it's going to be good to like each event one another admin can just be in charge of making sure the skirmish part is going, and then we can kind of rotate those duties and those responsibilities, and then if something happens or we need another hand on it, then you've got a couple other people that know what's going on that can jump in and fix it or troubleshoot it, or can look to see, oh yeah, we just accidentally changed the respawn time on this one, so let's get it back to 5 minutes or 2 minutes or whatever we want it to be. So
Mhm. Awesome. What else you guys got?
I'm tapped, man.
You
It's
tap? You good? You finish your wine?
yeah.
good.
It was sangria. It was really good.
Okay.
Yeah, I've had this this bottle's been open for a couple weeks now. I need to drink it before it's just bad in general.
Mm,
Uh, yeah, it was good.
good. What were you drinking? You went and got a drink after you took your helmet off.
I had some New Glarus, some Spotted Cow. It's a beer in Wisconsin here.
What's it
So
called?
the Spotted Cow. It's from
Spotted
New,
Cow?
yeah, from New Glarus.
Frick.
Is that an
Uh,
IPA?
no, it's like a wheat beer. They have some IPAs that are pretty good. So it's a brewery that is in Wisconsin. But they only sell to Wisconsin. They have decided not to go outside of Wisconsin with their sales.
No way.
And yeah,
How
it's
dare
crazy.
they? How dare they?
It's huge though. It's
I have to go there to try it?
Yeah.
Kind of shit.
Well, I mean, a lot of businesses will get there and they'll recognize that in order to do those things, they have to sacrifice something, right?
Yeah,
In order to keep the
absolutely.
quality, keep the brand, and all that sort of
Absolutely.
stuff.
Right.
And there is that tipping point where,
Yeah.
corporate takes over and
Oh,
it's all
dude.
downhill.
I know. I was talking with somebody, I don't know, it might have been a year ago, and we were talking about business, and I can't remember who it was, but somebody on here on the podcast, and it was like they said something about, growing a business and how it's a blessing and a curse. And I was like, yeah, you want it to grow, but not too fast, right? Because I mean, there's a balance with growing your business. You don't want it to blow up overnight, because then you're fucked. So like you can't keep up, because if you can't keep up, then your reputation goes down the shitter, and then it's very, very hard to recover from that. So you want a slow, steady growth for business with, as you get started, maybe a year, 6 months or a year into it, you have some jumps along the way, but not too big, Spotted Cow.
So,
Okay.
is that your favorite flavor then? What you've got there, or what is the?
Yeah, that's the original, and you can't go wrong with that one. But they
It
do
looks like
have,
they've got some fruity ones.
yep, they do
Well,
like a raspberry tart one. They have a strawberry one. They've got some darker ones. They've got two sisters. They've got I don't know. It's the beer that I always take with me wherever I go for my events. So if I ever see you guys in person, you can have a Spotted Cow.
Nice. That's pretty cool. Yeah, microbreweries are pretty popular all over the place. We have my wife and I just went to a place here in South Carolina that is new. It's fairly new, about a year old. And it's a restaurant, and they only serve local beers on tap. And so when you go there, it's like this, like what you're talking about. It's you're not going to recognize the names, right, of the beers. It's the local breweries, whatever they come up with. So what did I try? I can't remember the name of the beer I tried, but it was really good. It smelled, when I got it in the glass, right? It was on tap. It smelled like weed. They were all
maybe it was.
IPAs, by the
Maybe
way.
it was.
They were all IPAs. But it did not taste like that. And I've had beer that tastes like that, and I don't like it. Okay. Weed's not my thing, but the smell and taste just go away. But but it was really good. It tasted good. It just smelled weird. But what was weird is when my son got there, we went out with my wife and I went out with my middle son and his wife, And when I was like, dude, smell this. And he smelled it. He's like, oh, that smells good. It smells like fruity, like kind of fruity. And I was like, what? Maybe my nose is messed up. I don't know. I think it smells like weed. He's like, no, it doesn't. It smells like fruit. I said, okay, well, whatever. It tasted great, by the way. But yeah, they only do local breweries. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
So, all right, well, give a shout out to what you guys got going on to end it, and we'll get out of here. Close this thing.
Go ahead, Brandon. You're up.
Oh, well, I mean, I talked about it a little bit, but hey, if you're in the know on Skirmish, you'll get my newsletter. I'll end up sending one out here pretty soon to talk more about this feature that we're coming out with. So if you guys that play at Skirmish enabled fields, look, ask your refs about it, and they'll get it incorporated into gameplay, and stay connected out there.
I have a question that just so for like a year and a half now that I've been talking about Skirmish, I have said with my words, I have the correct link in my descriptions, but I have said with my words, go to skirmish.net to find out more. I've said it 1,000 times. Is there a way you can get that address, bro? Because
I do have so I have skirmish.com now as well. So I was able to pick that up. It's been a few months.
Okay.
Can I
update it on my thing? Okay, because
everything gets forwarded to
right.
My actually no
play.skirmish.net.
So you can go to www.skirmish.com. You just got to make sure you flip the I to an E and mesh.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I think you probably knew. Yeah, you most certainly known this. So the skirmish.com for a while was like a weed site. You would go there and buy marijuana. So that was a little bit
That's
awkward.
probably where that weed beer came from. Okay, that I had. I don't know.
Yeah, they ended up. I just got a random email one day that said, "Hey, this site's for sale. Do you want to buy it?" And I said, "Absolutely." So now I've got the .net and .com. You can go to any of them, and it'll take you to the same place. You don't have to do play.skirmish.net, but it is kind of cool. Okay. You can just do www if you want.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And it's yeah. Okay. Well, because I was kind of feeling bad. I was like, shit, I've been telling everybody to go to the wrong thing. And if they try to type it in instead of just going to the link that I have in the description.
You can go to a lot of there's a lot of ways to get there actually. So you can type as long as you spell Skirmish right, then
right.
Just about any
I'll add those extra links.
Any domain will get you there.
Okay, cool. All right, Chris, what you got, brother?
We got Galactic Civil War Battlefront Rager at 878 Airsoft November 9th and 10th. So that's Veterans Day weekend. So if anybody's got that extra day off and they're looking to get a little travel in, a little airsoft in, maybe a little airsoft that's a little out of this world instead of this world, go to that event down in Texas. We don't have the official dates for our spring or fall event next year, but those will get posted soon. So just follow me on Instagram at 6mm _Mandalorian. Same on YouTube, and you can find me on Facebook too. I do a bunch of my posts for the events on there. So if you want to know any news updates, rule updates, all sorts of things, just follow me on those 3 platforms. And then you can also watch me build a lot of weird stuff for Airsoft or commissions or whatever it is on those platforms as well.
Awesome, man. Thank you guys so much. It was great talking with you. So anyone watching or listening, go follow these guys. And if you are new to this podcast and you just found out about these two from this podcast, send them a message and let them know that you found them through here. And we're making connections for the Airsoft community. All these guys are. So awesome, man. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate y'all. And yeah, look forward to the next time that we do this, which we will. So it'll be cool.
Sounds good.
Awesome. We can maybe do a recap, but yeah, thanks so much for having me on here, Rod.
Yeah, man, of course.
It was nice seeing you too,
Yeah,
Chris.
Yeah. Good to see you, Brandon.
All right, guys.
Take care.
Have a good night.